What if everything we've been waiting for is finally about to happen? The brand new Raising Kanan Season 5 Episode 6 trailer may have looked short on the surface, but hidden inside it are some of the biggest clues we've seen all season. After watching it several times, one detail stands out above everything else, and it could completely change the future of the Power universe. For years, fans have wondered when Ghost would finally become part of Kanan's story, and now it feels like the writers are carefully putting every piece into place. The trailer doesn't come out and say his name, but it doesn't have to. Every conversation, every decision Kanan makes, and every move happening around Breeze feels like it's leading toward one unforgettable introduction. But that's not the only shocking part. While everyone is focused on the growing war between Rak and her enemies, Kanan may already be taking the first steps toward meeting the person who will eventually become his closest ally and later one of his greatest enemies. If these clues are really pointing where they seem to be pointing, then Episode 6 could become one of the most important episodes in Raising Kanan history. So let's break down every hidden detail in the trailer and explain why Ghost might finally be closer than ever. The biggest reason fans are so excited after watching the Episode 6 trailer isn't because Ghost actually appears. It's because the entire direction of the story suddenly feels different. Throughout Season 5, we've watched Kanan slowly transform into the version of himself that longtime Power fans already know. Every episode has pushed him further away from being just Rak's son and closer to becoming his own man. He's making his own choices, building his own connections, questioning everyone's loyalty, and starting to think like a true leader instead of simply following orders. Episode 5 made that transformation even clearer. Kanan wasn't just reacting to the chaos around him anymore, he was beginning to create opportunities for himself. And now the Episode 6 trailer seems to continue that exact journey. Instead of focusing only on the ongoing war, the trailer spends a surprising amount of time showing Kanan standing at the center of important conversations. That alone feels significant because it suggests his role is becoming much bigger than simply surviving another conflict. The writers appear to be preparing him for the next chapter of his life, and that's exactly where Ghost could eventually enter the story. One interesting thing about Raising Kanan has always been the way it introduces major characters. The writers almost never rush important arrivals. Instead, they build the world around those characters long before they actually appear. We saw this happen with several key figures throughout the series. Sometimes a character is mentioned long before we meet them. Other times the environment changes first, creating the perfect opportunity for someone new to enter. That's why so many fans believe Ghost's introduction won't happen suddenly. Instead, the show will slowly build toward that moment until it feels completely natural. Looking closely at the Episode 6 trailer, that's exactly what seems to be happening now. Another clue comes from Kanan's growing independence. Earlier in the series, almost every important decision came from Rak or Marvin or Lulu. Kanan simply reacted, but that's no longer true. Now he's beginning to create his own network. He's learning how the streets really work. He's watching experienced players make mistakes while quietly learning from them. Every episode adds another lesson that shapes the future man we already know from the original Power series. The trailer continues showing Kanan becoming more confident and more willing to step outside his family's control. That's an incredibly important development because Ghost enters Kanan's life during a period when Kanan has already become influential enough to mentor younger people. Before Ghost can appear, Kanan first has to become someone worth following. Episode 6 may represent another major step toward reaching that point. The timing also feels perfect from a storytelling perspective. With only a small number of episodes remaining, the series needs to begin laying the foundation for whatever comes next. The writers know fans are constantly asking about Ghost, Tommy, and the future timeline. While they probably won't rush directly into those stories, they can absolutely begin planting seeds now. Sometimes one conversation is enough. Sometimes it's a mysterious new character whose identity isn't immediately explained. Sometimes it's simply showing Kanan entering circles he's never been part of before. Those small changes often become huge moments later in the story. That's exactly why the Episode 6 trailer deserves so much attention. There's also Breeze's growing importance. Episode 5 made it very clear that Breeze isn't just another side character. He's becoming one of the most influential people in Kanan's world. Fans already know that Breeze eventually connects Kanan and Ghost together in power history. Because of that, every scene involving Breeze suddenly becomes much more meaningful. If Episode 6 continues expanding Breeze's role, then the chances of Ghost being set up become even stronger. The writers don't necessarily need Ghost to physically appear. They only need to move Kanan and Breeze closer together while expanding their influence. Once that relationship is fully established, introducing Ghost becomes much easier and much more believable. Perhaps the most interesting detail is how the trailer creates anticipation without revealing too much. Raising Kanan has always been careful about protecting its biggest surprises. Major character introductions are rarely spoiled in promotional material. Instead, trailers usually focus on emotional tension while hiding the moments fans are actually waiting to see. That strategy makes perfect sense here as well. If Ghost truly is being prepared for the future, the production team would never want to reveal such an important surprise weeks before it happens. Instead, they'd leave small clues that only longtime fans would recognize. And judging by the reactions online, that's exactly what's happening. Many viewers noticed a subtle hint immediately, while others simply felt that something important was coming without being able to explain why. Whether Ghost appears in Episode 6 or not, one thing feels increasingly clear. The story is no longer just about Kanan's childhood. It's becoming the bridge between Raising Kanan and the original Power universe. Every decision Kanan makes now has consequences that stretch far beyond this season. Every new alliance matters. Every betrayal changes the future. And if the trailer is truly pointing toward Ghost's eventual introduction, then Episode 6 could be remembered as the moment the next era of the Power universe officially began. As exciting as the possibility of Ghost's introduction is, there's another question that might be even more important. Who is actually preparing Kanan for that moment? After watching everything that's happened this season, it feels like the answer keeps pointing back to one person: Breeze. Episode after episode, his influence has continued to grow, and the Episode 6 trailer suggests that his role is only becoming bigger. While everyone else is distracted by the war happening around them, Breeze seems to be focused on something much larger. He's not just thinking about winning today's battle. He's shaping the future of the streets. And Kanan appears to be at the center of that plan. One thing the Power universe has always done well is show how every major character learns from someone before becoming powerful themselves. Ghost learned from Kanan. Kanan learned from the people who came before him. Every generation passes knowledge to the next, creating a chain that connects every series together. That's why Breeze is such an important missing piece. Fans have heard his name for years, but now we're finally seeing why he mattered so much. He isn't simply another drug boss. He's someone capable of changing the direction of Kanan's entire life. The Episode 6 trailer reinforces this idea by showing Kanan becoming more comfortable making decisions without looking to Rack for approval. Earlier in the season, Kanan often found himself caught between following his mother or trusting his own instincts. Now those instincts are becoming stronger. He's starting to recognize who truly understands the streets and who is simply trying to control him. Breeze represents freedom in a way that Rack never could. Instead of treating Kanan like a child, he seems willing to let him grow through experience. That difference could completely reshape Kanan's future. What's even more interesting is how Breeze's philosophy appears to contrast with Rack's. Rack believes control is the key to survival. She wants every move planned, every alliance calculated, and every threat eliminated before it becomes dangerous. Breeze, on the other hand, seems to understand that real power comes from adapting to whatever happens next. If Kanan spends enough time around someone with that mindset, it could explain why the older Kanan eventually became so unpredictable. Rather than relying on one strategy, he learned to think several moves ahead and adjust whenever the situation changed. That brings us back to Ghost. If Ghost is eventually introduced into this world, what kind of mentor would he need? He wouldn't need someone who only knows how to use force. Ghost was always intelligent, patient, and capable of seeing opportunities where others saw problems. Those are the exact qualities Kanan is beginning to develop now. The trailer hints that Kanan is becoming more observant, more calculating, and less emotional in the way he handles conflict. Those aren't random character changes, they're the traits